another 64-player event here, and let's see what we've got to work with. Well, I was going to say all in all a fairly unimpressive pack 1 on Moonlight. Isn't really much of a card. Which Visionary is fine. Boggart Brute is fairly good. Not much of a fan of Goblin Glory Chaser. Consul's Lieutenant is extremely good. It is a double white card. There's a decent chance that we don't end up playing it, but I do think it is the strongest card in this pack by a decent amount. Ringworn Owl is also quite good. Watercourser is good. Watercourser is actually considerably better than I thought it was on first sight. But yeah, I think Lieutenant is just the best card here. So there we go. Okay. This is a little awkward. If Fiery Impulse wasn't here, I'd be trying to cut off white, which would be made awkward by the fact that there are 3 playable white cards in this pack. But even though it seems like white is probably open, I think the upside of being past a Fiery Impulse is just too high. I mean, you definitely take this card over some rares. The rare is missing here. Not all of them, of course, but Fiery Impulse is extremely good. And while I would be quite happy picking up any of these white cards, Fiery Impulse I'm just not passing this early on. Okay, and no real white here. Blue does seem to be coming my way. And that could be a reason to take one of these blue cards, but Boggart Brute is just, I was going to say it's fine. It's actually more than fine. It's quite good in this format. And I mean, Ringworn Owl is very good. Well, it's definitely good anyway. Watercourser is fine. But I'm gonna take Brute here to try to stay red. Keep taking what we're being passed here, and we'll figure out a second color at some point in the future. I'd kind of prefer seeing, you know, some more in the way of red cards, but okay. So this is interesting. Sentinel is a fine card. 6 mana 4/4 is quite good. Vial is okay. These are 2 good white cards. But again, other than the second pick and our first pick, we haven't really seen any white. And it's not going to kill me if I don't have any of these cards. But Mage Ring Bully I am not thrilled about. I'm gonna take it though. Like, yeah, okay. Alright. I mean, clearly blue was open. Maybe I should have taken the Ringworn Owl there, knowing that blue was open. In this case, it is definitely a question of whether I take the Gearcraft or the Void Mage. I think the Void Mage is just better, but again, you know, I'm getting past red, and I want to keep taking these, you know, the other 3s instead of 2s, but I want to keep taking these pretty good red cards. So, oh wow. Alright, so I haven't seen a lot of black, but it is decently possible with Unholy Hunger this late that black is open. To be fair, this format is fast enough that Unholy Hunger is worse than it would normally be, but it is still just kill a thing, so I'm going to pick it up here. I'm fine playing a Fetid Imp. It's 2-drop. It's not super aggressive, but, you know, it is still very good. I mean, I can probably pick up a Smash. I'd rather have playable than the sideboard card anyway. So, Act of Treason would be completely speculative. But Return Centaur isn't great. Macabre Waltz, I like as a card, but I'm not sure it's great in this deck. If Act of Treason is going to be good in this deck, I'll be glad to have it. So I'm going to pick it up for that reason. I'm shocked Rogue's Passage is going this late. That is quite the good spell. Taking it over, not really anything. I mean, none of these cards are cards, but I will take a Slug. Hope not to play it. Again, take another Slug. Okay, Vial is an actual pickup. I'll send a Reclaim to somebody. So, not a great first pack. Impulse, Gearcrafter, Brute, I'm happy running. Oh dear me. Oh dear me. Well, there are a number of quite good cards here. Ravaging Blaze is quite good. Swift Reckoning is, rather good. Lightning Javelin is fine to good. Timberback Wolf, 2-drop good. Channeling Ghoul, 2-drop good. Void Mage, quite good. But Chandra's Ignition is stupid. So, yeah, glad to pick this up. Less thrilled with this pack. So, so the rare's gone here. No real telling what that is. Not really. I mean, I could try to cut white from this side, but I don't think that's a great plan. Fury is okay. Bellows Lizard is not a card. Centaur isn't all that great. I'd rather just have the Assassin. Hey, cool, Goggles. I don't think I'm going to be playing Goggles, but it is worth noting that they're there. Lightcaster is not really a thing in black-red very much. I don't really want to take another. I mean, to be fair, there's not really a card here I want to take. I don't think Pyromancer's Goggles is worth much in the way of tickets. I guess it's between the 4-drops. It's Blightcaster or Undead Servant. I feel like if I'm going to be getting enough servants for Servant to be good, I can wheel Servant. I guess I could pick up Weights of the Underworld to make Blightcaster decent. Okay, there's a Gearcrafter. I was definitely eyeing this guy. Again, I could be wrong to be in black, but I'm not certain on that. It is a little surprising to me that I'm seeing blue cards from my left. In fact, it's rather surprising to me, but Gearcrafter is good enough. I'm just going to pick it up here and feel decently happy about it. I'm not thrilled about having multiple Eyeblight Assassins. There is an Elvish Visionary, which is quite a good 2-drop. There's a Ringward Owl and a Water Courser. Infectious Bloodlust kind of works with Blightcaster, but that's not really what I'm looking to do here. I don't like Mage Ring Bully. It would probably wheel out of this pack. I'm gonna take the 4-drop. I'm not pleased with that. I am pleased with this wheeling though. Shambling Ghoul is absolutely fine, and I mean I want 2 drops, and I'm happy to play this one. So maybe black is open. There just maybe hasn't been a lot of black being open, or yeah, being opened. Sigil of Valor is fine. Undead Servant isn't amazing. There's a decent chance that other one wheels. 2 is starting to get interesting. This won't come back. I'll take it on speculation terms. I mean, Reef is worth like a ticket. Rambler is playable. Waltz is playable. Go ahead and get Tenant out of here. It's not a card I'm going to be running. I'll take the Rambler. I'd rather not play it. Oh man, very happy about seeing a Ghoul come all the way back around. Again, it doesn't come in tapped, and that's, you know, not great, but hey. I'm gonna take this thing. I never want to play it, but there's a, I mean, look, if my opponent has some hyper aggressive deck, maybe I block with a Bellows Lizard. I don't know. None of these are cards. I'm just gonna take Tome. I mean, Rabid Bloodsucker can actually be playable. I don't actually think that card is good, or the deck that it goes into is good, but I'll cut a Helm of the Gods just in case I'm wrong and somebody gets the magical enchantment deck. Alright, Giant is fine. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Throwing Knife is the other card here that I would not mind having. I could also take Automaton. I'm unlikely to wheel anything here though, and that's quite disappointing. I may wheel this Fury, which is not a terrible card. Fiery Conclusion. Well, it is a combo with Act of Treason. It's not, in general, great with what I have here, though. There's also Shambling Ghoul, which may come around. I doubt it. I'm just going to take the Lightning Javelin. Removal's nice. I'm getting a little big on 4-drops, but still. Okay. Conclusion is interesting. I don't really think they're going to wheel, but I'd rather just have the 2-drop here. Like, I am not feeling great about my early game at this point, and Ghoul is fine. And Lightning Javelin isn't so great that I really want a bunch of them. I'll take the Trick here. Trick seems fine. I really don't know about trying to go Warhorn. I'm not even sure Warhorn is really particularly good ever. Read the Bones, of course, is a good card, but I'm not really sure this is the best home for Read the Bones, and I'd like to have at least a Trick, preferably a few. So, Flashback Marauder is a combo with Act of Treason. Firefiend Elemental is just fine on its own. don't imagine the Marauder wheels. I'm also pretty unlikely at this point to see a MTGO husk, and that makes me a lot less likely to want to play Act of Treason, and that again makes me more likely to just want a playable card, especially since I'm cutting this Blightcaster. It does look terrible here. Alright, well, worth noting that an Undead Servant did not wheel earlier. There is Dragon Fodder, which, I mean, if I had those fiery conclusions, Dragon Fodder would be okay. Goblin Glory Chaser, which I don't know that we're aggressive enough to be glory chasing. Of course, we are kind of hurting on playables. 2 Undead Servants is not particularly thrilling. I'm gonna take it anyway. There's another Unholy Hunger. This is odd. Alright, here... Again, Read the Bones is good. I don't know about Macabre Waltz. We'd be getting back like Gear Crafters, which would be okay. I'd rather just have actual card advantage here. Eyeblight Assassins aren't really great in multiples, but it is kind of looking like I just want a Grey Ogre. Let's see. If I'm cutting these cards, maybe I just take the Fury. Gives me a little bit of reach. Alright, I don't really have enough elves to be going with Eyeblight Massacre. I mean, Mage Bully survives it. Actually, almost all of my 2s do. But still, I think I'm going to take the Ghoul. I'll feel pretty confident in my 2 drops at that point. There's a Night Snare. I'd probably rather just have the Cobble Root. I may not start it, but there you go. Touch of Moonglove. Really not a good card, but eh. I don't think this is a deck where I'm going to have to play Rabid Bloodsucker, so I'll take Macabre Waltz in case there's a matchup where we particularly need to grind. Alright, so this deck has some good cards, but I would not say that on the whole it looks amazing. Definitely not as good as the last deck I drafted, but I mean, it could get there. You know, there's a pretty decent chance we start with a 2-drop. A little awkward that Shambling Ghoul, is so bad on the draw against Token Free Blades and the like, but kind of play the hand you're dealt. It's possible I should have been in something other than red, but I don't really think that's true. Maybe I should have moved in on blue earlier, etc., etc., but I'm not terribly unhappy with where this has ended up. I very much would have liked to have gotten a Nantuko Husk or the like. But, you know, it is what it is. This, I wouldn't exactly call this a curve, or like a plateau, but so it goes. Is there anything I'd rather play over Cobble Brute? I don't necessarily love Cobble Brute, but it seems fine. Is there anything I'd rather play over the 2 Undead Servants? Not really. I mean, I could run a Rabid Bloodsucker instead. The only... yeah, I don't really have a way to deal with much flying, which is kind of awkward. But hey. So... yeah, I'm not huge on... I mean, I don't have any 5-drop creatures. Is kind of what I'm getting at here. The awkward thing is if I cut one servant, I'm pretty much priced into cutting them both. As at that point I could bring in Rabid Bloodsucker and Macabre Waltz. And Waltz does a thing. No, I guess with Rogue's Passage I'm pretty okay with running Cobble Brute and the Servants. Like, by the time I'm getting to 5 mana, I do have something to do with my mana. Like, it is just one of, but between these spells, and of course, Chandra's Ignition works quite well with Cobble Brute. Still leaves a question about the Servants. Since I'm cutting Centaur, I don't really have a way to spill them into my yard, but if I'm already putting on some pressure early, a 4 mana 3/2 isn't the worst card in the world. Majoring Bully does not look particularly good here, since most of my non-creature spells are rather expensive. I could cut the Bully for a Bloodsucker or a Centaur or Vial. I guess it wouldn't be terrible to cut it for a Vial. That said, I do have a couple of early tricks. I read the bones, plus just dudes. So it may be fine. Well, let's take a look. If I do that, I bring in Bloodsucker. Yeah. I guess I kind of like that. Kind of like it. I still kind of feel like it's awkward. I am not a huge fan of the Bully in general. I guess I could cut both Servants, play the Bully and the Alchemist Vial. How does that look? Aha. Finally caught up and gone to deck building. Got the 2 Servants. Bring in Alchemist Vial and Majoring Bully. Because I kind of like that better. Because Vial is still, I mean, Vial pumps Bully. It can help get through some more damage. And I'm just, you know, 2 of these just doesn't really feel great to me. Yeah, so I think I can run 8/8 and the passage and be all right with that. It's going to be a little awkward on hitting Skyraker Giant, but I do have a lot of need for both colors fairly early. And Giant isn't the most amazing thing ever. Group creatures separately. Just take a look here. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to run Majoring Bully here, actually. And I do kind of like the look of the curve a little better with the Undead Servants out of there. Yeah, okay. Basic lands, 8/8. I agree. Yep. Alright, well, I guess that's a deck. I'll see you guys in round 1.